are so many different social media platforms out there, and it can be really hard to figure out which one you should be on or how many of them you should be on. I'm Allie Thompson with Creative Success Secrets, and today we're going to talk about social media. So, social media is something that, over the last ten years or so, has become like this buzzword, like, oh, you got to be on social media, you need to go to social media. And there's this misnomer that you have to jump, if you're going to sell anything online, you have to be everywhere. You have to be on all of the different social media platforms. And there's kind of a sense that they're pretty much all the same. It's social media. You just have to be here, and you have to be here, and you have to be here, and you have to be here. And so I want to dispel some of those myths a little bit today and talk about the pros and cons of the different social media platforms, which ones I recommend, and the fact that you don't have to be on all of them. In fact, being on all of them can hurt your business way more than advantage it. So I've got my little notes here. We're going to talk about the different social media platforms. So the first one we're going to talk about is Twitter, just to get it out of the way. Twitter is a platform that's much more for news and celebrities. So you see, like anybody that's famous has a Twitter account. It's where a lot of breaking news happens. Twitter is about being short and witty. It's about having very interesting things to say. Twitter is also very non-commercial. If you go into Twitter and you try to sell, Twitter will rake you over the coals. Like, you're done. You can't just jump on Twitter and say, here, buy my thing. You will be shut down so quickly. Not by Twitter itself, but by the Twitter users. So there's this etiquette to Twitter to not sell. A lot of big brands are on Twitter, but generally it's not considered a good advertising platform. It's just not a great place to go and advertise. If you're really witty and have cute little sayings and really attract people that way, then Twitter may be a great avenue for you to go down. But for the most part, not really. Twitter is tough. It's really, really tough, and it's limited in how you can promote yourself, and you're limited within the culture of Twitter. So I don't recommend it. Definitely don't go out of your way to be on Twitter. It's if you can't do it really, really well, you might as well not have an account. The world's not going to crash. Things aren't going to end if you're not on Twitter. Trust me, believe me. I've built a couple of businesses now without the help of Twitter at all. It can be done. In fact, I think that Twitter's a little bit of a minefield. Something that you do wrong on Twitter can actually hurt you much more than if you made a mistake on Facebook or Instagram or something like that. So I don't really recommend Twitter. If you can tell, Twitter is just not something that I would even put in the top 3. So just let Twitter go. The next one is Pinterest. So a lot of people want to be on Pinterest because they think, look, it's all about pictures and links back to your website and that sort of thing. And the thing about Pinterest is a great tool. And I'm not saying any one of these are not great tools. You just have to understand how they're used. You have to understand the mindset of the person using it. With Twitter, the people that are using it are looking for those witty comebacks and something really inspirational. They're looking for news. They're looking for celebrity gossip. They're looking to connect directly with celebrities. Excuse me. On Pinterest, they're looking for ideas. So Pinterest is much more about like, I want to bake brownies. Let me look on Pinterest. Or I want to do a craft this weekend. Let me look on Pinterest. Or I'm getting married and I want to get an idea of what my ideal reception is going to look like. And they look on Pinterest. Now, sometimes that can lead to a sale, but the real big downside of Pinterest is it's not as social as some people think it is. A big part of selling online is building up know, like, and trust. And Pinterest isn't a great place for you to do that. Pinterest is really just about organizing ideas, right? And not so much connecting with the brand and going deeper with that brand. It can happen, but there's a lot less conversation there. And the artists and crafters that I know that have been using Pinterest say pretty much when they put their stuff on Pinterest, other people go there just to get an idea for what they can make themselves. So can you get sales from Pinterest? Yes. It can, point back to your website. If you are selling classes or supplies, Pinterest would be a great place for you to be. But beyond that, it's a little bit dodgy for product sellers. So, Pinterest is fine, but I wouldn't put it near the top of the list. A new one that's come out recently that a lot of people are talking about, especially with lockdown, everybody's talking about TikTok. My kids are all about TikTok. Like TikTok this, TikTok that. TikTok is actually a really great platform that I need to learn more about. The thing about TikTok is it's very video centric. So if you have videos of you making your product, TikTok's a good way for you to get that out there. Now, my middle daughter actually manufactures dice for like Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games out of resin. And she's gotten close to 4,000 followers now on TikTok just by posting videos of her making the dice. And from everything we can tell, she is getting sales from that, but she's using TikTok to actually funnel people over to Instagram. So when they follow her on TikTok, she encourages them to follow her on Instagram, and Instagram is really where she's running her business. So it's a great advertising tool. But just know it is the realm of the young people right now, right? And not to say that there aren't older people there, but it's much more younger people that are using it. So if you have a product or service that appeals to a younger demographic, TikTok would be a great, at least auxiliary platform to use so that you can, show that younger crowd what it is that you have. If you're targeting an older crowd, 30 and over, they're not on TikTok. Not yet. Maybe they'll end up there. I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about it. So it is a way to grow know, like, and trust because it's using video. And if you include yourself in some of those videos, that definitely helps you grow that connection with your customers. So there is a social aspect, but it's not as social as some of the other medias, as far as I can tell. But we'll see. And I may change my mind later on and put more emphasis on TikTok, but it's really going to take the older people using TikTok more in order for it to really take off. Now, the next one I want to talk about is Instagram. I think Instagram is great. I really, really do. Now, while I don't teach Instagram, and there are a few reasons why I don't teach Instagram, and I'll kind of get into that. I really do think it's a solid platform. It's a place where business can be done. It's a place for people to connect with their brands and actually get involved in the conversation. Which is what we want on social media. We want them to be social with us, right? And Instagram definitely gives you that advantage. Instagram's very, very visual. If you're going to be on Instagram, your photography has got to be on point. And you have to really care what your feed looks like. I think it's a feed or a board or a wall. Everybody's terminology is different on all the different platforms. So you really need to pay attention to what the feed looks like. And that it has that overall look of what you're trying to portray. And, there's a lot of people that join Posse and that are watching these videos that are still struggling with their photos, and they're still struggling with how to stage things and how to get it to look just so. And Facebook's just more forgiving than Instagram. If you put a bad picture on Instagram, it's not like you're going to get any crap for it, but you're not going to get any praise for it either. Willow, my middle daughter who sells on Instagram, spends a bit of time trying to get her product pictures right. And even recently she came back to me. She's like, I'm getting a little bit lazy with my product photos. I got to step it up a notch. And she's really stepped it up. Like, she's been doing fantastic photos ever since then. But that's what you need in order to catch attention on Instagram. Instagram is less multimedia. So you can do video and you can do images. But like, text isn't really a big part of Instagram. So really explaining what the picture is, the picture really has to tell a lot of the story by itself. Hashtags are huge on Instagram. You have to know what you're doing with your hashtags. It is easier to get followers on Instagram. I wish if Facebook was more like Instagram in the way that you were able to attract followers, then I would say, Facebook hands down winner overall. But that's one of the downsides of Facebook. The upside of Instagram is you can get followers more easily. You can get discovered more easily through the use of hashtags, through engaging with other accounts. There are just a few more ways to get found that are not as readily available on Facebook. And you do need to know the difference between what you put in your stories and what you put in your feed. It's a whole different strategy. Every single one of these platforms requires its own strategy. You can't just say, well, I posted this to Facebook, so now I'm going to post the exact same thing to Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest and expect them all to work the same. They all have a different strategy. And on Instagram, there's a difference between what's in your feed and what you do in your stories. And if you don't get that right, then your followers, you're going to be less likely to attract followers, put it that way. So then I do recommend Instagram, but you do need to make sure that you have the right training and that you really understand Instagram before you use it. And then finally, there's Facebook, which is my personal favorite. I was very skeptical of Facebook like 12 years ago. It's like, man, Facebook's not anything. I don't understand this social media thing. And once I realized the power of Facebook, then I was just blown away by what you could do on Facebook. And I still, to this day, believe that there's more opportunity in Facebook than there are on all of the other social media platforms, especially for businesses like ours, handcrafted, because I have a business like that myself too. Handcrafted artists, crafters, handmade entrepreneurs. So for our type of business, Facebook is really the best match. It is an older demographic, which is not a bad thing. Older demographics have more money than most younger demographics, but the young people are still there too. Now, they may not be there in the numbers that they were 10 years ago, but they're still there. My kids are still on Facebook. They still see things on Facebook. All right. They're on Instagram and TikTok more. But you don't want to be marketing to my kids, not necessarily. You want to be marketing to somebody like me, and I'm on Facebook. My sister's on Facebook, and my mom's on Facebook. My grandma's not on anything. She doesn't understand how any of it works. But we're the ones that have more money and availability for purchasing. You don't necessarily want to go after the younger crowd when you're selling a product. On Facebook, you can do videos, images, text, events, groups. You can run ads. The Facebook ad platform is tight. It's good. Instagram has ads too. So far, not nearly effective as Facebook ads. All the big boys are on Facebook. All the big brands, all the big companies, all the smartest marketers that I know. I have even seen people selling Instagram training using Facebook ads. So that shows you something right there. Everybody that knows anything about marketing will recommend that you be on Facebook, because that's where the people are. That's where the vast majority of people are. Even with Instagram growing, even with TikTok growing, even with all of those, there are more people on Facebook by far than all of the other social media platforms. So go where the people are and go where your demographics are. There's a lot more flexibility with what you can do in Facebook. For instance, on Instagram, you can only have one clickable link and it's in your bio. On Facebook, you could put a clickable link on every single post if you wanted to. It's not good strategy, but there's a lot more flexibility of the kind of content you can create on Facebook. So I highly, highly, highly recommend Facebook. Now, I mentioned before about not getting spread out too thin. Honestly, guys, it's much better for you to pick one and nail it than it is for you to spread yourself too thin over 2, 3, 4, 5 different social media platforms. If you put all of your attention onto Facebook and really learn how to nail the strategy on Facebook, then while Instagram has a different strategy, it's going to be a lot of the same elements, just executed in a different way on Instagram. You still need to have good product photos. You still need to have good descriptions for your products. You still need to understand who your customer is. You still need to understand what engages people and what doesn't. And in my opinion, Facebook is the easiest way, and it's the best way to learn the skills that you need to be able to expand into other social media platforms. It's why I teach Facebook. I think Facebook is a great place to learn marketing. It's a great place to learn social media marketing. And honestly, it's just a better place to sell. As of right now, as of this recording, Facebook is still the best place to sell. I see my members' businesses are just growing by leaps and bounds with the work that they're doing on Facebook. And now some of them are starting to dip their toe into Instagram and to get used to that. But some of them are so busy on Facebook, they don't need Instagram. And that's why a lot of people end up on 4 or 5 different platforms, right? Because they're like, well, I'm not that busy on Facebook, so I'm going to need Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest in order to make this business work. And that's just not the case. You need one good strategy on Facebook. For most of you, Facebook. My daughter's on Instagram. That fits her business and her business model better, and it fits her personality better. Most of you watching this are already comfortable on Facebook. And how do I know that? Most of you are watching this on Facebook. I am uploading this to YouTube as well, but most of you will be watching this on Facebook. So you're more comfortable there. Willow's more comfortable on Instagram, and it's still a great platform, so she went that direction. Now, if you're like, all right, but I really don't know how to use Facebook, what do I do? How do I actually do this? Well, the good news is I do have a program that teaches crafters, artists, handmade entrepreneurs how to use Facebook to grow your business. How to use it to grow your audience, how to engage with that audience, and ultimately how to make sales. Because all of those steps need to happen first before you're really going to make any substantial sales on Facebook. Our members' businesses are growing even during the coronavirus lockdown. One of my members just said the other day that she made more in April than she did last April with shows. She made more online this April. So this is what we're empowering businesses to do, to be able to actually take control of their Facebook marketing rather than being at the mercy of Facebook. Take control, implement a strategy, and move your business forward. People are buying online right now. Right now is the perfect time to do this. So while we're under this quarantine, while the pandemic goes on, we are offering a 30-day trial to Posse, which is where you learn everything that you need to know about marketing on Facebook. You get a 30-day trial for only $7. You get access to the entire program. We don't hold anything back. There's no like, oh, these are the trial people over here. You only get these 3 trainings. We give you everything. You can watch every training. You can use all the tools. You can engage in the community during that 30 days. And it's only $7 for that 30 days. If you decide to stay, you can just stay on. But if you decide during that 30 days that, this isn't quite right for me, you can always just cancel. And you get to keep whatever knowledge you learned, right? Everything that you learned, you get to keep that knowledge and those strategies. So all you have to do to sign up for a 30-day Posse trial for only $7 is click the link. It's either above or below in the description and the comments, something like that. Just look around for a link. You'll see a link for Posse. Read over it. We talk a lot about the Prompts for Profits calendar. When you click that link, the Prompts for Profits calendar tells you exactly what to post on your page every single day. It's by far Posse members' favorite tool that's in the program. We talk all about that on the link that you click, but you'll be able to sign up for your 30-day trial for only $7. Only $7, you guys. There's no risk. And there's all kinds of things that you can learn and implement in your business. And we want to help you. We want to help you through this tough time and give you access to the training that you need in order to turn around what's been happening in the world and to give you an advantage even though the shows are closed. So click the link, join Posse, give it the 30-day trial, and we'll see you there. Bye.